Well, welcome back. Hope everyone enjoyed their 3-day weekend. Had a lot of action, right? If you're an Ohio State fan, you're feeling pretty good. We've got Trump in office. He signed something like 200 executive orders. Tariffs wasn't necessarily in them, and with that, we see soybeans rallying. Corn had a nice overnight trade. We're giving some of it back right now. Other than that, we've got commitment of traders. Spoiler alert: funds are getting bullish. We're seeing them flip from a bearish to bullish position on soybeans. And so I think we got to talk a little bit about some of the rhetoric with President Trump. Brady, bring him in. Anything you want to talk about, I'm game. But let's go ahead, if you want, quote up the markets, right? We started this show, we started planning. We saw 490 corn. Now we're kind of down to 485, giving some of it back. So quote us up.
Yep. Here at the morning break here, 485. March corn is 485, up 3/4 of a cent. March beans up 13 cents at 1047. Soy oil is a little bit weaker. Soy meal's up 5.5. Chicago wheat's up 14.5 cents at 14.5 cents at 553. March KC wheat is up 13.25 at 561. Looking over at your feeder, your cattle market feeders are up in the front, down in the back, rolling over, down $1 in the May. Fat cattle are also leaking weaker at down 10 cents on your fat cattle. Lean hogs up 82 points on the front. Crude oil down $1.55. Diesel down 9 cents. Nat gas down 12 cents. Looking over your equity markets, the Dow is up 260 points. The S&P up 22.5. The NASDAQ is pretty flat right now. Bitcoin's down 2,000. Gold's up a tick. Silver's up a tick. The U.S. dollar getting hammered on a little bit too, down $1 net there on your macro markets. So all over the place here this morning, Connor. Grains up at early, corn kind of testing unchanged here.
Yeah, fun stuff. I mean, I think the main headline, right? Number one, if you're an Ohio State fan, right, you're flying high. I was rooting for Notre Dame. I know Joe down there. He said he'd root for anyone else but Notre Dame since he's a Purdue fan. But it was a good game. I guess Notre Dame made it close.
It was. I got to root for my boy Will Howard, being the K-Stater that he was a year ago.
Right.
Got to cheer on Will Howard. Glad to see he had a great game, great year, and getting that national championship deal. Pretty cool to see that. But I don't know. I always like a good game. The college playoff deal. That's just what a fun way to crown a national champion. There's no debate who earned getting up to that point and battling it out. Good stuff.
I agree. It's so much better than just seeing the 4-team, right? Last year, Ohio State wouldn't have even been in the playoff, and they win it this year. So,
yeah,
good stuff. But other than that, we got Trump in office, right? Drill, baby, drill. That's the big one, and I think we saw crude oil was acting accordingly too with that, right? But so a lot of executive orders signed. I'll just rattle off a few of them that I saw. Is pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords, pulling out of the World Health Organization. The big one that we didn't see, right? We did not see tariffs imposed day one. There's a little bit of wiggle room. He said, looking at Canada and Mexico, you can get a 25% tariff by Feb 1st now. So that'll be here before we know it. But there's some wiggle room there. There's room for negotiation. So I guess time will tell there in terms of the whole threat of tariffs and where we're going to go from there.
Yeah, it will be an interesting week to see how it all plays out, how everything shakes out. Stay on your toes here, because at the drop of a keyboard finger, we can change this market in a hurry when we get a tweet out or something. So at any moment, this thing could change and be dynamic. But
yeah, that's the truth. Well, it was good. We had a good close on Friday's show. We talked about how we had to break through that 480 level. We broke through it. Good overnight yesterday. Soybeans, right? Still very good price rally. We're still hanging in there. We'll see what corn's going to do. Brady, is wheat just along for the ride? What's our story? I was thinking this to myself when I was about to open. What's the story on the wheat market? Is it just following corn, soybeans? What do we got?
It sure feels like it. Yeah, I think it's got to tag along just to, it might work its way into some feed rations there, but really there's not much of a story on the wheat front. Australia's kind of had a good year. Maybe there's some production concerns down in Argentina with the dryness out there, but still we just don't have a kind of supply scare on the wheat side of things. So just kind of following the heels of corn there and getting pulled up. I don't know if the tensions overseas, if that adds pressure, if, Israel, Gaza Strip, if that's kind of pressure to the downside there a little bit too. But yeah, wheat's just no story right now, it seems like.
Interesting. Well,
I'm optimistic. Maybe we'll have that freeze scare. We're really frigid cold here. I know you guys are cold.
Here, I think my phone says, what's the temperature in Kansas? It says -3 here.
You got me. I think I'm -1 or -2. So, but cold's cold though, Connor B. I got to go outside and unthaw water tanks here in a little bit, or check my waters. I'm not looking forward to that.
You win. All I got to do is I complain about this 100-year-old building I work out of is a little drafty.
Drafty.
Those old banks, they just weren't thinking of insulation in the 1900s, which I think it was built in like 1906.
You got to love technology and innovation, especially when it comes to insulation. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, moving right along, commitment to traders. We saw that released, and I'm going to look at soybeans first, just because we officially flipped from a net short to a net long in the soybean position, right? That's coming on the backs of, I would equate it mostly to, a little bit of this dryness in South America, the scares there, where we're going to go, but officially a bullish position, or I should say officially a long position in the soybean market.
That's a big change. And the tone and the sentiment has just changed across both complexes there, corn, beans. Just feels like we went from uber bullish uber bearish 3-4 months ago. And now it feels like everybody and their dog is embracing the bull story here.
Yeah. That's a good, keeping your emotions in check in terms of marketing, man, it goes a long way. So, because the tide can change so fast. Corn, it's a similar story we've seen going back to July, right? We've got funds continue to add to their length. Saw them do it in a big way. We saw them add it before that January report, and they continued. Brady, we're getting up into territory, 21, 22, 20, 21. Those were fun marketing years, right? That was when Russia invaded Ukraine. We saw the corn market really take off, definitely the wheat market. But, when I look at that, should I be concerned, right? Or do we start getting scared about funds kind of, pulling the rug out from underneath of us, right? When funds are very, very long, how fast can they go short? But time will tell there.
Yeah, the air is a little thin up there, but when you're that long in the corn market. But records are made to be broken, so will we see a new record long on the corn market? That's the hope. But definitely significant risk there of the funds at the drop of a hat deciding they want to get out of that market and run the other way. But been a heck of a run. I don't know. Everybody, when the sentiment changes, and you flip flop when the bears are starting to get bullish, you got to get a little nervous, and we just don't want to ride these sentiment waves of extreme bearishness or extreme bullish. That directional bias can really get a guy off center. So be cautious.
Well said. So, going forward, we're going to continue to talk about South American weather, right? It's that tale of two cities, Argentina, southern Brazil. Did the rains come too late? And then northern Brazil, we're seeing that soybean harvest start, and we're seeing a little bit above average precipitation. It doesn't bode well for their second corn crop being planted, right? That's kind of the fear. If we see it very wet in Mato Grosso, we're not going to get that corn crop planted on time. And it's, timeliness on that second corn crop in Brazil, it's huge just because of that, that dryness. The rains really shut off toward the end of the growing season. So the later that corn crop gets in, the more nervous we're going to get. So that's going to be the developing story. And then, on top of that, we're going to continue to look at where are we going to do with the administration? Are we going to see, what are we going to see as far as tariffs? He did a couple other ones. He did eliminate the EV mandate.
Okay.
We saw that. It was waiver for year-round sales of E15. So that feels good for ethanol.
Okay.
Time will tell. It's very much a buckle up. We'll see what these next, that first 100 days, even the first 2 weeks, I think we could see a lot of news come out.
Yeah. It's good to see green on the board out of the gate here as we start the week. Had a good week last week in your grain market. Good couple weeks. Good start to 25 actually on your grain markets. See if it continues here the rest of the week, but be wary and watch out for that headline that changes the game here going forward. So got a South America production type picture to watch and pay attention to. And then you got macro market stuff happening as well here with new administration.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yep. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we basically covered it. I don't see any questions. Feel free to pop them anytime, right? We'll get a premium video out to all premium subscribers this afternoon. What else am I missing, Brady?
I don't think so. I think we can get to work here. There's things to be doing, people to be calling, and stuff to be doing here. But we'll be back live at 9 tomorrow and see what changes between now and then. I'm sure there'll be plenty of headlines between now and tomorrow morning.
Yep, definitely. Well, everyone have a great day. We'll see everyone Wednesday.